Thanks, Jerry, and thanks for your time to come and listen to Ardiden's presentation on Ontario Gold, the high-grade Pickle Lake Gold Project. As a geologist myself, most of these competent person statements I've signed off on, so what you'll see here I'm prepared to stand behind and put a reputation behind it, but there's some amazing results in here which we spent a lot of time verifying, which I'll go through in a second. Three main things that most people look for in a project like this are the project itself, making sure you've got a good plan to work to, and the people involved. So we believe we've got an amazing high-grade gold project in Ontario, which was recently rated the most interesting and safe place to invest from a mining investment point of view. The Pickle Lake Gold Project itself has a past production of over 3 million ounces from 4 underground mines at an average grade of well over 10 grams per tonne. So we're in the right place. We've got a fantastic plan that we've been building for the last few months, which we're going to put into action now. We've been busy aggregating a compelling land holding and now holding over 360 square kilometres of really exciting and highly prospective high-grade gold greenstone belt. So we're growth focused on that both through the drill bit and through other opportunities which we already see in the region. And we've got an experienced board, some very good people behind me and a good technical team to assist. And we're going to be applying the best of Western Australia's and Australia's modern exploration techniques, many of whom are here today, to unlock the value of this for shareholders. Ardiden's been in northwest Ontario for 5 years. We're not the new kids on the block. And we've got very strategic and valuable in-country knowledge. We've drilled about 20,000 metres already in Ontario in all seasons, so we know what we're doing. This was an announcement we put out earlier this week, just before the conference, or in fact on the first day. We've been going through a lot of historical data that we've been aggregating by putting together a land package that we own. And it had a fantastic effect and has brought attention to Ardiden. When you put out intersections over 400 grams per tonne, it does attract attention. So we doubled our share price on that day and we hope to keep going up and up. So the first, I'll come back and explain where these intercepts are, but you've got everything from half a metre at those sort of grades, well over 100 grams per tonne, as well as towards the bottom we've got thick intersections of 3 or 4 grams. This is just a small subset of the data set that we're working with. But these are numbers which we spend a lot of time verifying, making sure that they are JORC Code 2012 compliant and reportable. We stand by these numbers. Just to take a little bit of a step back and look at the North American Canadian region in general, most people will have seen Northern Star start the project really by moving into Alaska, and now we've got St Barbara, Newcrest. Of more recent times we've got Evolution coming in right alongside us at Red Lake in Ontario. So the producers have been moving in here for a couple of years. They see the opportunity, they see the safe jurisdiction. We've been in there for some time and we see the opportunity for juniors to make a good value. There's lots of prospective grounds and assets available. And now we're starting to see ASX listed juniors coming alongside us. So with Orteco moving into the Pickle Lake region, that's obviously brought a focus into the area. When you have the likes of Steve Parsons note that this is a very, very prospective area, it brings attention to you. That's a slightly geological map of Ontario. The blue blobs on an east-west direction are your Archean greenstone belts. If you turn that north-south, you're basically looking at the northeastern goldfields. Very, very similar geology, very, very similar styles of mineralisation, and a lot of opportunities there which haven't been looked at in any detail. Ardiden's Pickle Lake Gold Project is located where those diamonds are in the middle, with Red Lake to our west, about 180 kilometres, and the more prolific sort of Kirkland Lake Timmins area, which most people will be familiar with in the eastern part of Ontario. It's easy to get to. Our highest risk with our project at the moment is flying through Hong Kong Airport. So we get into Toronto and multiple flights up to Thunder Bay on a daily basis. So very easy to get to, good roads, and very easy to operate in this area. Ontario in 2018 produced 2.5 million ounces of gold, so it's a mining state, or province as we call them. And there are new gold mines coming on stream in Ontario. Some of the engineers in this room are working on those ones. So why wouldn't you be there? As I mentioned before, Evolution Mining in November announced their entry into the Ontario region at the Red Lake Gold Mining Centre, and that's located in the bottom left of the diagram there. We're in the middle on the same greenstone belt, directly along strike, and there are other projects being developed, gold mines, between us and Red Lake. It's a continuous mineralised system with some massive ore bodies. This is a bit of a zone in into what the terrain looks like in Pickle Lake. The orange polygon from left to right is Ardiden's holding. We have 90 kilometres of highly prospective gold-endowed greenstone belt. It's an amazing package to work with. It's incredible. So we're really excited about the possibilities in here, and some of those historical results come out of this region. Historically, nobody's put this together into one package, so it's been piecemeal. People have gone up there for a season at a time, had a go at it, found it a little bit too hard. But as Jerry eloquently pointed out, hard work is what we do. Coming back to those intercepts, just to show you where they are, that's the same list that was on the first slide, showing the historical high-grade intercepts. They're located in the western part of our prospects called Dorothy Dobie and New Patricia, and there's an underground gold mine in the middle of that, which hasn't operated since '97. So those sort of results are absolutely amazing, and as I said before, we've got a long list of similar results, and we're working hard with that data to unravel some of the really hot targets to drill in this area. That's a close-up. So all of those high-grade results are the purple dots in the top left, Northwest Territory of our package. West Prospect, Dorothy Prospect, there's a whole bunch of prospects through there which are somewhat of a carryover from the various ownerships that people have had. And anyone that's followed the Dixie project near Red Lake, they've just recently announced that they're joining all their prospects into one massive deposit. Drill enough and you'll join the dots, and we expect to join the dots through here and find some absolute mammoth deposits. To give you a bit of a feel for the historical 3 million ounces which came out of the Pickle Lake region, the 4 pink underground schematics in there are the 4 underground mines in Pickle Lake itself. So they've been developed variously from 400 metres down to 1.2 kilometres. It's the smaller cousin at the moment of Red Lake. On the extreme right of your picture, in more of a yellow colour, is a pictorial of one of the underground mines at Red Lake itself, currently in operation. That's currently down to 2 kilometres, and we're confident Evolution will push that deeper and find new lodes where Canadians haven't yet explored. On the left of that diagram with the drill rig is the one deposit that Ardiden has already drilled, where we currently have a 110,000 ounce high-grade JORC resource at 4.4 grams per tonne, but we've only drilled that to 200 metres. That's our immediate flagship target. We're going to drill that at depth and along strike and add to that, and you can see the potential. All of these gold systems tend to go down a kilometre at least, so we can add resources just by going down at depth. That's a picture of the airstrip at Pickle Lake. You can drive there on a sealed road all year round. There's about 500 people in the town, and it's a mining town, so people here are very familiar with what we're doing. And I think, as Reg said also yesterday, the best place to look for the next deposit is in the shadow of a head frame, and that's the head frame that you see as you come into town at New Patricia. So we're in the right place. Coming back to the Casaginimus deposit, which is where we had the 110,000 ounce JORC resource at the moment, the yellow line there represents where we've got that 110,000 ounces. It was done reasonably straightforwardly on land, but it's only about 400 or 500 metre strike length. It's typical of these deposits, even at Red Lake. They have very short strike extents on the surface, but they just go deep. So we're going to drill that underneath that and extend it to depth, and we're also going to test it along strike where there's a historical resource extending out across the lake to your right and also back across the forest to the left. The most important thing in this area for long-term relationships and social licence to operate is getting on with the First Nation groups in the area. And we've been working with the group in town called the Mishkegoggamang for over a year, and we're meeting with them regularly. Not only the Mishkegoggamang First Nation group, but also the local traditional landholders and the whole community in general. It's a process to go through to make sure you're here for 3 years, not just for 3 weeks. You can go in and drill, upset a lot of people, but you won't be welcome back. So another thing I learned from Africa is taking the time to get your social licence to operate in place so that you have that ability to grow your resource base and operate in the area and bring benefit to these people as well as to shareholders and everyone else. I think as Chanel said yesterday, she said, people, planet, and then profit. So very wise words. That's just a picture of some other of the First Nations people that we've met in town and continuing to work with. We've used some of their services already to develop winter tracks out to Casagiminus, and they're really keen to work with us. They're well skilled. Many of them have worked in the mines in this region, and they understand mining. So just to wrap up and save you a bit of time, Jerry, this is the strategy that we have. We're in a Tier 1 mining jurisdiction. It's a fantastic place to be. We have an amazingly high-grade and prospective high-grade gold project over a large area. We've got JORC resource growth capabilities both through drilling and also through aggregation of existing prospects and projects in the area. We're going to continue to keep the market updated regularly, and we've got a very experienced board working behind the scenes to make this a success. Our ticker is ADV, and as you can see there, we've still got $2.4 million in cash, so we'll fund the next drilling project alone. Thanks for your time. Our booth is located as a poster stand dangerously close to the bar at the front, so welcome to see you over there later in the afternoon.
You mean conveniently located next to the bar?